Welcome back. I am your DIY assistant. In today's very video edition here, I'm going to be teaching you guys about branch. In the past video, I teach exclusively about circuits, and it is not what you think. You need to understand what circuit is to effectively distribute the load on your house, and knows what to do in terms of, yes, the load distribution is pretty much the management of how your home electricity or the site, the very job which you are trying to execute, is going to work effectively and give you a peace of mind over a long term. And this very information which I'm sharing with you is not coming from online. I did my full apprenticeship program, an internship after my studies of electricity, and I did a lot of internship with different companies, and after that I didn't actually go into using it for my own sustainability, because I tried but it didn't work out. So that's when I get to understand that you might learn different trade, you might have different skill, but they don't mean that that is where you're gonna earn a living, right? I understand that, and I have to make a switch. But this very knowledge right now, I know I have to pass it to someone who needs it and might find it difficult to get it elsewhere, all right? So this is like a shortcut to understanding the process. I wish there's gonna be a time where I'll take you guys to the site where there are deckings, right? And I'll show you guys how to start up the looping system, which is the most complicated part of electrification of any building. Now let's go. What is branch? Just like the name implies, it branches, right? Like a tree, like a branches of trees. Now, branch is a term established. I don't know who actually made up that very name there, but it's very, very useful when you talk about electrifying any building. Let me explain what branch is in a nutshell. Then I will start telling you the usage and the applications in your building, in your electrification jobs. There is something which I often say about watching a video concerning house electrification. You don't want to skip the video. If you want to skip it, it's better you don't even watch it at all than you watch it halfway, and that's the only knowledge you have, and you head into trying to wire up a home. You're going to set it ablaze or damage most expensive material. The wiring is one of the most expensive. The wires are the most expensive parts in wiring up a home. So you don't want to do any mistake. The knowledge which you are getting, making sure that the person whom you are getting it from is well equipped and well knowledged to teach you before you start doing anything. Now let's go into it. The branch, in my clear definition or explanation, is actually the red wire. There are two kinds of wire. If I start saying that you should make multiple colors of branches, it's not going to make any sense. You're going to have loads of them, different colors. In the market, in the wire, in the electrician's market, there are two wires that are very more prominent when you're trying to service up a home, and those are red and black. And this is a typical one of it, right? This is 1.5, this is the red, and this is the black. They all play a two different roles. And I'm gonna also show you how to mark. Yes, I forgot to lecture you guys on the previous video on how to mark and differentiate what's the difference between branch and mains. All right. So, but here I'm gonna tell you guys there is mains, and mains is not branch. So let's go back. When you draw up your first power coming from the distribution board, which can be anywhere, most often times the distribution board is best placed in the middle of the house. So for this very building here, this is where the distribution board is supposed to be. Why? Because it's going to help you save a lot of wires. But unfortunately, it's inside a kitchen that is off within the 90 degrees end of the house that this guy actually placed the distribution board or the consumer unit, which you can see over there, right? Now, when you put up two wires, red and black from here, and you want to service, let's say you want to service this switch here, you need to understand circuit. And I explained it vividly in another video, so go ahead and watch that circuit, a video about house electrification, understanding circuit and its applications. Now, when you draw up the first two wires, red and black, from here, and you go to the ceiling, the lighting point where the lighting point is supposed to stop, right? And you suspend the black from there. I taught also how to wire a building from scratch if you are not even the one who actually did the piping. So go ahead and watch that video and understand the process. So when you drop off the black wire here, which is the neutral, and the red wire travel down to the switch, the circuit is not yet complete. The second wire that need to travel from this switch back to the lighting point, that is what we call branch. That wire is not your mains. That wire is the branch. That wire is the second wire that goes into your lighting switch port. Okay, it's quite unfortunate I don't have any lighting switch here, but there are a lot of them somewhere, but I don't know where it's kept. Okay, I couldn't find any, but this is what you have to understand. When you pick up your lighting switch, all right, at the back of your lighting switch, especially, let me start with one gang, two-way switch. There is one gang, one-way switch. There is a two-gang, two-way switch. And there are two-gang, four-way switch. How did that work? Now, we're going to start with the simple one. If you need more clarification, I will do a video specifically for that. The one-gang switch, we have one-gang switch, one-gang, two-way switch is going to have 3 portholes. The 3 ports where you connect your wires. It's going to have the common, which is often marked C. And it's going to have the other ones, the other two, one you can have A and B. Which means if you have A and B, the A can be the first power, B can be the second power. So now if you are trying to service such like a kitchen like this that have only one light bulb, right? Then you're only going to connect the life, which is the red, into the port where the root common C, while the branch goes into the A. As soon as you press it on, the light should be able to come on. I hope that's clearly understood. Now, in a situation where you have multiple lights, that is where you need to understand the role of branch. For instance, where I'm standing right now, this is the kitchen. This kitchen could have 2 lighting points, but that's not even the point. They can be sent into one gang. But you have the stores. You cannot group it into one gang because these two very segments here are different from one another. The time you're going to be needing to use the kitchen, the store light may not need to be on in order to save energy. That is why one gang switch cannot be able to solve the problem. Now we have a sit out here, more like a balcony, and there's going to be one lighting point there. So these 3 segments here are completely different. They can be running on the same circuit. But they cannot be controlled by a single one gang switch. That's going to be a terrible job. So in order for you to control them effectively, these 3 segments that are bunched in the same place have the same connections around them. That is where the ideology of 3 gang switch comes into place. So that 3-gang switch, each of the gang is going to control different lighting bulbs on these 3 places that are having that are bunched together. Like here, there are just from here you can go to the store, from here you can go to the balcony, and this is the kitchen. So you have 3-gang one-way switch here. The common part of it will all have to be the mains. So in the end, here is where it's getting interesting. You're gonna get one branch coming from this balcony coming back to the switch. You're gonna get another branch coming from this very store coming back to the switch, and one branch from this very kitchen coming back to the switch. So if you check them completely, there are 3 branches. These 3 branches controls these 3 lighting points independently. However, they have just only single mains. So ideally, you are only looping one neutral from here to there, but you are not looping the branches. You can see that very system. So that is typically how branch works. And here, definitely I'm certain you have come into different homes. Like, let's say for instance, this very sitting room here, the owner may choose to have a red light or blue light run this very first gutter here and stop. And he will tell you, I want a white light to run the second phase and stop, right? So this 90 degrees part here is run by green light or white, while this other side is run with red light. Already while he's telling you this is what I want, you will know instantly that it needs 2 gang to control those lights if they have to work independently. But if they don't want to work, if he don't want them to be controlled independently, but he just only need 2 different distinctive colors of light, then you assign them to 1 gang. So which means, in that saying, is 1 branch that is going to be dealing with them. So by this very junction right now, I'm certain you should be having at the back of your mind that if you have 5 different lights or 4 different points of light controlled independently, there is 100% chance. There is 100% chance that that very system there have 5 branches. If you have 3 gangs switch that work independently, they have 3 branches that step into that very switch to service it. And if there are 2 lighting bulbs that are controlled independently, there are 2 gang switch. There are 2 branches that goes in there. I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say, what I'm saying this whole while. So the gangs, the 3 gang switch, 4 gang switch, 5 or what have you, they cannot function, they cannot control the lighting system without the branches that supplies those powers, that complete the circuit of those power independently. I hope you guys understand it. So if you have any question concerning the branch, the gangs, how many gang switch controls this, how many lighting points, drop it in the comment section and I'm gonna answer you, because this is a matter of life and death. When you are wiring up any home, electricity doesn't waste time. In 5 minutes, a huge damage of thousands of dollars is already incurred. So you don't want to do any mistake. Anyone, like I said, who is teaching you about electrification of your home, be it industrial usage, be it for office usage, have to really explain it the way I have done for your clarity and understanding to avoid any problem. Now in future, because I'm still going to be the one to wire this very house, I'm going to show you the reality of this thing, but it can be very difficult to show you how these traces are. But if suppose it's something like, like a drawing, I can actually show you in drawing how this gangs is, which is like going to make me to get a whiteboard, which I'm going to use to do this demonstration perfectly. But a lot of you people who are already into the system, we understand exactly what I've explained so far. And a lot of you who are already doing some apprenticeship program, we understand exactly what I've told you. So guys, I'll see you in the comment section and in the next video, where I'm gonna be showing you guys realistic applications of what I've told you guys, I've taught you guys so far. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Catch you guys later.